I am Reed. I am 27, just an average dude. I've made tons of money mistakes in my 20s, and now I want to share everything I've learned to help you take control of your finances and your life. So I shave my head every so often, as you can probably tell from looking at me. And at first I did it out of fear. I was scared of going bald, man. I would stare at my hairline in the mirror and just panic. Like, what if I lose it all? What if girls don't find me attractive anymore? What if I look weird? So I buzzed it off to rip the band-aid off and get used to the look I thought I was doomed to have. But here's the funny thing. I was to even going bald. My hairline just looks like the top of an iPhone. One of my buddies who works in tech actually pointed that out to me, and I couldn't stop laughing because he was right. But after I started shaving my head regularly, something shifted. It became less about fear and more about intention. It became symbolic. Every time I shaved my head, it was like I was telling myself, hey, we relocking in now. It is time to focus. It is time to get serious. And I know that sounds cheesy, okay, I get it, but there is actually a real psychological concept behind this, and it is called the alter ego effect by a guy named Todd Herman who wrote a book about it. And the idea is simple. You create a version of yourself that has the qualities you need to succeed in specific situations. It is not about being fake. It is about accessing parts of yourself that already exist but that you haven't trained yourself to use yet. Let me tell you a quick story. When I was 20, I was a mess. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I had credit card debt I couldn't pay off. I was eating fast food every day and telling myself I'd get it together next month. Next month never came. I was stuck in this loop of wanting to change but never actually changing. And the reason was simple. I didn't know who I needed to become. I was just trying to be better at being the same person, and that person was the one who made all the bad decisions in the first place. So why would that person suddenly start making good decisions? That is the trap. You can solve your problems with the same mindset that created them. I think Einstein said something like that, or maybe it was some guy on the internet. Either way, it is true. So I started experimenting. I asked myself, what would the version of me who actually has his life together do? Not what would someone else do, not what would a rich guy do or a successful entrepreneur do. What would the version of me who already figured it out do? And I started acting like that person. I know it sounds like I am playing pretend, but hear me out. Humans are shapeshifters by nature. You already act different around different people. You act one way at work, another way with your friends, another way with your family, another way when you are alone. You are already doing this. You just don't realize you have control over it. You think you are just reacting to the situation, but actually you are choosing which version of yourself to bring out. The problem is most people never consciously design those versions. They just let the default version run the show, and the default version is usually lazy, scared, and comfortable, so you need to build a new one. Now let me break down how I actually use this and how you can too, and I am going to keep it real with you. This isn't some magic pill. It takes practice, but it works. I've used this to go from broke and in debt to actually having savings and a business and a life I don't hate waking up to. So step one is vision. You need to know what you want. And I know you are probably thinking, well, Reed, I don't know what I want. I have no idea. I am not passionate about anything. I don't have a dream. I get it. I was there too. When I was 22, I couldn't tell you what I wanted to do with my life if you paid me. But here's the thing. You don't need to know your entire life plan right now. You just need a starting point. You need something to aim at, even if it is blurry, even if it feels fake, even if you change your mind later. That is fine. Actually, that is expected. The people who wait until they have perfect clarity before they start anything end up never starting anything. So just pick something, write it down. What kind of life do you want? What does a good day look like for you? How much money do you need to feel secure? Not rich, just secure. For me, it was having 6 months of expenses saved up. That was my first big goal. It was glamorous, it was exciting, but it was real. And once I had that vision, I could actually start working toward it. Step 2 is clarity. This is where most people get stuck. They have a vision, but they don't know how to get there. So they just sit there feeling overwhelmed and anxious, and then they give up. The key is to break it down into small pieces. Look at the whole mountain, look at the first rock in front of you. When I wanted to pay off my debt, I didn't think about the total amount. I thought about the smallest card first. I focused on paying off that one, then the next one, then the next one, and before I knew it, the debt was gone. Same thing applies to any goal. You want to make more money. Great. What is the smallest amount you can make right now? $1. How do you make $1? You sell something, you do a task for someone, you flip something you find at a thrift store. I am not joking. I used to buy stuff at garage sales and resell it on Facebook Marketplace. It wasn't a business. It was just me learning how to make money outside of a job, and that skill alone changed my life because it taught me that I didn't have to rely on a paycheck. I could create my own income. That is a game changer, man. Once you know you can make money on your own, you stop being scared of losing your job, you stop being scared of taking risks, you stop settling for less than you deserve. Step 3 is identity. This is the alter ego part. So you have a vision and you have a plan, but who do you need to become to actually execute that plan? The version of you right now probably isn't cut out for it. And that is okay. You don't have to stay that version. You can build a new one. I want you to think of 2 or 3 people who have achieved what you want to achieve. They can be real people. They can be fictional characters. They can be historical figures. Study them. What qualities do they have that you need? Write those qualities down. Then give your alter ego a name. I know that sounds silly, but trust me, it helps when I need to lock in and work. I think of myself as this focused version of me that doesn't get distracted. I don't have a cool name for it, honestly, I just call him Locked In Reed. But when I put that version on, I stop checking my phone, I stop procrastinating, I just do the work. And the cool thing is, the more you practice stepping into that alter ego, the easier it gets. Eventually, it becomes just who you are. You are not pretending anymore. You are becoming. Kobe Bryant did this with the Black Mamba. He didn't just wake up one day and decide to be a legend. He created a separate identity that could handle the pressure and the criticism and the weight of expectations. When he was the Black Mamba, he was Kobe, the guy with personal problems and fears and doubts. He was the Mamba, cold, focused, relentless, and it worked. He used that alter ego to win championships and become one of the greatest athletes of all time. And if it works for Kobe Bryant, it can work for you trying to save money or start a side hustle or get your life together. Seriously, if the Black Mamba can help a man win 5 NBA titles, it can help you stick to a budget. Now let me tell you what I call war mode. War mode is when I go all in on my goals for a short period of time, usually 2 to 3 months. During war mode, I attack everything. I say yes to opportunities I would normally say no to. I push myself harder than usual. I expose myself to chaos and pressure on purpose, because that is how you grow. You don't grow in comfort. You grow when you are stretched, when you are in over your head, when you are forced to figure things out. Most people avoid that feeling. They run from it. They want their life to be smooth and easy and comfortable. But a smooth life doesn't produce growth. It produces stagnation. I see it all the time. People work jobs they hate and then come home and watch television to escape the fact that they hate their job, and then they wonder why they feel stuck. The rest isn't the solution. The rest is just numbing. What you actually need is more intensity towards something that matters to you. You need a period where you go a little insane, where you lock in so hard that your old habits and old identity don't even have room to exist anymore. So here's what war mode looks like for me. First, I do something physical to commit. For me, that is shaving my head for you. It could be something else. Maybe you throw away your junk food. Maybe you delete social media from your phone for a month. Maybe you sign up for something that scares you. The point is, you need a physical action that represents your commitment, something you can undo easily, because when you have skin in the game, you take things more seriously. When it is easy to quit, you will quit. So make it hard to quit. Burn the ships. That is the mentality. Second, I learn and build every day. I dedicate 30 to 60 minutes to learning something new, a skill, a concept, a tool, and then 30 to 60 minutes to actually building something with that knowledge. You can just consume information and expect your life to change. You have to apply it. You have to build something. For me, that was learning how to write better and then actually writing for you. It could be learning how to invest and then opening a real account and buying your first index fund. Not researching for months, just doing it. I remember when I first started investing, I was terrified. I thought I was going to lose all my money. So I started with $50, just $50 into a low-cost index fund. And I watched it and I learned, and over time I got more confident. Now I have a solid portfolio that I manage myself, but it started with $50 and the willingness to look stupid and make mistakes. You have to be okay with being a beginner. It is uncomfortable, it feels awkward, but that is the price of entry for a better life. Third, I focus on 3 things: my mind, my body, my business. That is it. Everything else is secondary. Your mind is how you interpret the world and make decisions. If your mind is weak, make weak decisions. Read more, think more, get your thoughts in order. Your body is your vehicle. If you don't take care of it, everything else falls apart. I am not saying you need to be a bodybuilder. I am saying you need to move, eat decent food, sleep enough. It sounds basic, but most people don't even do the basics. And your business or your career or whatever you do to contribute value to the world, that is how you sustain everything else you need to be creating something. Even if it is small, even if it is just a side project you need to build. Humans are builders by nature. When you stop building, you start decaying. And the last thing is just expose yourself to massive experience. Say yes to things you normally say no to. Talk to strangers, go to events alone. Try things that scare you. Fill your life with so much novelty and chaos that your brain has no choice but to expand. You can grow in a bubble. You have to get out there and bump into life. I did this when I was 25. I was broke and living in a small apartment, and I decided to start saying yes to everything. Someone invited me to a networking event. I went even though I was terrified. Someone asked me to speak at a small meetup. I said yes even though I was shaking. Someone offered me a freelance project I didn't know how to do. I took it and figured it out as I went. Every single one of those yeses led to something bigger, and within 2 years my life was completely different. Not because I got lucky, but because I put myself in the path of luck. So here's what I want you to do. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Stop waiting until you have everything figured out. That day will never come. You have to start with what you have right now. Write down your vision, even if it is messy. Create a simple plan, even if it is rough, and then build an alter ego that can actually execute that plan. Give it a name or dawn. That part doesn't matter. What matters is that you consciously choose who you are going to be when it is time to perform. You don't have to be stuck being the same person forever. You can change, you can evolve, you can become someone who doesn't quit when things get hard, someone who does give in to fear, someone who actually follows through. I promise you, man. If I can go from a broke 20-year-old with no direction and a head full of bad habits to where I am now, you can do it too. I am not special. I am not smarter than you. I just figured out that the person I was didn't have to be the person I would always be. And that realization changed everything. So go shave your head or burn your old routine or whatever it takes to commit. Lock in for 2 to 3 months of war mode, see what happens. I think you surprise yourself, and if you fall off, that is okay too. Just get back on. Growth isn't a straight line, it is a messy, squiggly line that goes up and down and side to side. But as long as you keep moving forward, you get there. Alright, that is all I got for you today. Peace.